Joey was never fond of animals. He wasn't a psychopath or anything. He had nothing against them. But he found animals, including house pets, to be quite filthy and unhygienic. He crossed the roads to avoid stray cats. He politely refused to hold his friends' pets, and he even refused to let his family have a pet. Joey's brother, Thomas, always wanted a dog. While Joey and Thomas got along well, the fact that Joey would not let his brother have a dog was the only and the biggest strain in their relationship. Joey's parents did not interfere because they believed something like a house pet required everyone in their family to say yes. Joey was 16 when Thomas finally got his wish. Thomas won first place in a science fair, and his parents made the mistake of telling him that he can get whatever he wants. He said he wanted a dog. Joey opposed this, but Thomas would not hear excuses anymore. He locked himself in his room and refused to speak to anyone. He said he would stay hungry till his demands were met. Finally, tired of Joey getting his way all these years, his parents decided that Thomas, who was 14 at the time, was responsible enough to have a dog. They did not listen to Joey's excuses anymore. He had been complaining for years, after all. They explained to him that he needed to get over his fear of animals and understand that his brother made sacrifices for most of his life, and now it was Joey's turn. He had been complaining for years, after all. They explained to him that he needed to get over his fear of animals and understand that his brother had made sacrifices for most of his life, and now it was Joey's turn. The dog came as a happy puppy, and Joey avoided her at all costs. His brother named her Casey. Joey found her very obnoxious. She yapped all day and barked all night. For almost a year, it felt like the dog could not shut up. She approached Joey occasionally, but he just shooed her away. Joey wanted nothing to do with the dog, and she was smart enough to understand that and kept her distance. Joey never felt like he was at home anymore. He never felt safe anywhere except for his room. Returning home from anywhere gave him a sense of anxiety, because hearing his footsteps, Casey would bark before he even reached the door. Oftentimes, he stayed outside for hours until someone finally got Casey under control. He was miserable in his own house, and it hurt him a little to know that no one cared about his discomfort. Then one day, about a year after Casey was brought home, Joey was left alone with her in the house. Not that Joey knew, he was sleeping soundly in his room, but Thomas needed to go to the store and did not want to take Casey with him. That day, Joey was woken up by the sounds of Casey's loud barks. After a minute or two of grinding his teeth, he covered his ears with a pillow and shut his eyes tightly. He could still hear the barking, but after a while, he heard scratching. Casey was scratching at his door. Joey felt rage bubbling in his chest. His anger was greater than his fear of the dog, and he jumped off the bed and threw open the door. Casey was hopping all around and running in circles. Joey did not understand what she was doing. He screamed at Thomas to get a hold of his dog, but heard no response. Casey ran towards the hallway, but returned and hopped around again. Now Joey was confused. Something told him to follow Casey, so he did. He was close to the living room when he saw smoke. Joey's heart sank as he ran towards and found the living room was filled up with smoke. He coughed and saw the smoke was coming out of the kitchen. Casey whimpered and ran to the front door, patting her paw on it. As if in a trance, Joey followed her and opened the door. She stepped out and he thought that she would run away, but she did not. She waited for him. Joey stepped out and they both ran to the lawn to see the house from the outside. Joey did not bring his phone with him, so he asked the neighbor to call the fire department. He waited with Casey as they arrived, but his brother and their parents showed up first. They were thankful that Joey and Casey had survived. They also scolded Thomas a little for being irresponsible in the kitchen. The fire truck arrived soon after and put the fire out. The kitchen needed some work after that, but the house was saved, and that's all that mattered. Something changed in Joey that day, as he thought Casey noticed as well. Joey was a little hesitant to approach the dog, but Casey took the first step towards him. When Joey did not yell at her, she persisted, and Joey slowly reached out to pet her. At that moment, all his anxieties went away, and he felt peace. Joey kissed the top of Casey's head as a thank you for saving his life.